Outfittersrating.com, enter. You've entered Outfittersrating.com. Program engaged. Welcome, Bill. Welcome, Doug. Select this week's adventure. Select species, elk. Select location, New Mexico. Select Outfitter, Limestone Guide and Outfitting Service. Outfittersrating.com TV starts now.
For Outfitters Rating TV's Doug Hamric, all the pieces seem to be in place for his pursuit of a trophy bull elk. He's in the right place, New Mexico. He's got the right people to guide him. Darrel Welty of Limestone Outfitters has been in the business for 40 years.
It still gives me as bigger charge as it probably does my clients to, to kill a good bull or call a good bull in. Or most people can't understand how you can hunt for 40 years and still get as bigger charge out of getting a good bull in close. Having somebody harvest it that maybe he's never killed an elk, or maybe he's killed 20 elk, but he's still got the same desire I do. I hate when hunting season's over. It gets tough.
This week I got to hunt with Dominic Salvo, one of Darrel's guides, and it was a really fun experience. He knows the area well. Some of the ranch that we hunted on is Dominic's, and he just does a really good job. He's fun to be around, knows the elk, knows the area, knows how to take care of you. He just really made it really pleasurable, and it was a lot of fun being with Dominic.
The Limestone crew suspects that the severe drought conditions over the summer have limited antler growth. Darrel, Dominic, and the rest of the Limestone guides are still seeing lots of elk, just not the trophy caliber normally present here.
This part of the country, New Mexico, we were hunting Unit 16D, which stacks right up against the Gila. We were getting into some pretty rough terrain down around the Gila. It gets up high into the mountains, and then we were literally down into the prairies, into the flats. I guess they call it high desert out here. Rolling hills, rocky terrain. It got warm during the days. The nights would get down, be very cold. But the days were getting up in the 70s and even 80s a couple times. So a lot of variance in the temperatures. This time of year, the bulls are typically out of the rut, and they were in the rut still. So that was a nice add. So we got to see tons of bugling. Up close at a distance, there were times we would hear 8, 10 bulls bugling from one location. And that's part of the beauty of hunting out here in New Mexico. There's a lot of elk. And in a typical season, there's a lot of trophy elk. In a typical year that would range from 340 to say 360, they were pushing to get to the 300 mark. They had a very bad drought early in the season, in the growing season, and elk just didn't develop.
This is one of the first years that, since I've been hunting elk a lot, that it was super, super tough to find a real good bull. Most of the time you find a good bunch of elk, you can always find a 350 plus bull. And we had a pretty severe drought in this country this last spring and summer. And they just didn't grow the horns this year. I'd say everything was at least 20 to 30 inches, probably lighter than probably a normal year. We picked up these broken horns. They're just like fake. It's like somebody made them out of some kind of lightweight stuff. I don't know, they're like almost hollow. A lot of broke bulls this year. There wasn't nothing to them. It's frustrating when, because a guy gets used to hunting better bulls, but it's all part of the hunt. It's just trophies were a different size this year. But the elk still reacted the same. They still hunted the same country, same everything, just a little bit different size of horns. But I think sometimes we might get carried away a little bit too much on horns and size of horns. But a year like this will definitely make us appreciate the years that are good. He's a 5x5 on his right side. He's missing his sword. First morning, got out on a high ridge. We knew that there was quite a few elk in that area, but until you really get in it and really sit down and really get serious about it, I guess we didn't realize how many elk there was. There was elk on every ridge, going every which direction. It was almost chaos. It was tough to kind of keep up with which bull was going where, or what bull you'd looked at and which bull you hadn't. But which is, I mean, it's a good thing. We had definitely a lot of elk to look at and hunt.
Lots and lots and lots of elk. Doug and Dominic like what they are seeing and hearing. Doug's pursuit of a New Mexico bull continues when Outfitters Rating TV returns.
Outfitters Rating TV is brought to you by OutfittersRating.com. Trust, but verify. EuroOptic.com, the source for premium firearms and optics. Swagger, broadheads that open so fast you can hear the swag. Khmer Deer, the revolutionary deer attractant. And by Carl Zeiss Sport Optics. Zeiss, we make it visible.
Doug Hamric for OutfittersRating.com. Folks, you cannot believe the number of emails and phone calls we receive from people on bad trips. Some literally to the point of tears because they've saved for years. Others not happy because they're not getting those services as contracted. OutfittersRating.com can eliminate those risks and help you book with confidence. Actually, we're getting a lot of emails and phone calls thanking us for the service. It's working, folks. OutfittersRating.com.
Fall in the mountains of New Mexico provides a feast for the senses. The sights, of course, and for a die-hard elk hunter like Doug Hamric, the smells and the sounds of rutting bull elk. Doug has really enjoyed the first few days of his pursuit. He and guide Dominic Selvo have seen literally hundreds of elk. The summer drought has resulted in somewhat underdeveloped antler growth. Still, Doug is patient. He'd like to see if there's a really big bull out there. So far, they just haven't seen one.
I got to hunt with Dominic Salvo this week. He's one of Darrel Welty's guides. Dominic grew up here. Actually, we got to hunt the family ranch for a couple days, so he definitely knows his way around. He knows the animals, and he showed me a lot of bulls. We probably saw 40 or 50 bulls in 5 days of hunting, which was fabulous. So he knows the area, knows the game.
I think I love elk hunting because, I don't know, they're a super cool animal, especially when they're bugling in the rut. You know, they're super vocal. You get to call, and in the country that they're in, it's, you know, the country we grew up in, so you can kind of, it gives us a good reason to be out running around. They're just a really cool animal.
Well, to me, an outfitter is just an outfitter. His guides is what makes him. I mean, you can't have enough experience. I mean, these guys hunted these areas, they all know them. They've all hunted elk. I mean, most of the guys that hunted with me for 10, 15 years have worked for me at least that long. And I don't take a lot of new guides in, you know. I'll usually train a guide at least a year before I even hire him. I mean, he usually hunts with me for a year to learn the area and, you know, just see what he's like. And that's what I think sets us apart is my guides. I mean, they're, to me, the best there is.
funny, we saw literally hundreds of elk this week in 5-day hunt. And that's not always a good thing. We had a herd bull set himself up inside of a herd of about 100, and we had no way we could get to him. We tried from a couple different angles. There's just too many eyes when you get that many, especially when they bed down. The cows will move onto the fringes, they bed in different directions. It's almost impossible to slip up on these large herds when there's that many. Whether it's the wind moving or they pretty much cover everything with their eyes. I think they sat down and planned that out. They got every quadrant covered. So you either got to take them long range or wait till they get up and move.
Got 2 herd bulls, 2 6x6s in 2 different herds up here in front of us. The problem is we have too many cows around, so we're going to try to slip through, get a better look, and try to get on this first.
Doug and Dominic have seen a lot of animals, including some pretty good bulls, but luck has not been with them. With just 1 day of hunting left, will luck finally turn in their favor? Outfitters Rating TV returns in a moment.
Folks, we truly love what we do, and we're proud to offer this service to you. If you're looking to go with an outfitted hunt or a charter service, utilize the system, look up these guys, and know before you go. Outfitters and charters, you put your heart and soul into your business, this is where you need to be. Join us, it works.
At EuroOptic.com, we provide only the finest optics and shooting products available, including night vision and thermal vision monoculars, goggles, and weapon sights from brands you trust, like Benelli, EOTech, Sacco, and Night Force. So the next time you're looking for quality optics or firearms, call us at 570-220-3159 or visit us at EuroOptic.com.
Recently, a series of grueling tests were conducted to show the performance of today's top broadheads. Test 1, durability. Swacker shows its toughness. Test 2, penetration. Crushes this shoulder blade, cutting 18 inches deep. Test 3, extreme angles. Swacker dominates the quartering shot. See how the Swacker performed in all the tests at swacker.com.
Outfittersrating.com will change the way you look at outfitters and charters. Outfitters, if you do what you say you do and run a quality business, it's a no-brainer. It's free, it's quick, and it's simple. Hunters and fishermen, now you have the resources to verify you get what you pay for. All you have to do is visit the outfitter testimonials on the site and you'll understand why you want to be here.
Outfittersrating.com. Trust but verify.
It's October in New Mexico. The elk are bugling, and Outfitters Rating TV's Doug Hamric is having a fantastic time. Things haven't been perfect, but the things that count have been. Mainly the skill, professionalism, and camaraderie put on display by his host, Outfitter Darrel Welty, guide Dominic Selvo, and the entire Limestone Outfitters staff. Drought conditions may have limited antler growth, but it certainly hasn't hurt the overall number of elk. Doug and Dominic have seen literally hundreds of animals during their week-long pursuit. With 1 day of hunting left, they remain optimistic.
We got right into them at daylight. They were screaming their heads off, moving, but we always tended to be just a little bit behind the bulls that we wanted. bumped the first one, and we moved to another herd. We moved up the mountain and had a herd bump us. Actually, in this case, we had elk moving across us. We actually think maybe some other hunters had bumped them, you know, a few ridges over, and we probably had 40 or 50 elk come right across in front of us. But just everything didn't work out the way we wanted. We were just off a little bit in timing or in placement. Dominic took us and set us up on one of the ridges where he was pretty sure that a lot of the elk would be moving down as the evening progressed. And sure enough, as soon as we got over there, we started hearing bugles up in the canyons. It was pretty funny. We had that bear run in on us. He ran right down and went to water below us, we believe, and then shot up by us. Well, we had about 3 bulls that come in with small harems, small herds of cows, and they were just too small. We were looking for something a little bigger. Finally, in that last 30 minutes or so before dark, this bull come in. He had moved in and pushed the other bulls off and actually picked up some of their cows.
Doug and Dominic are surrounded by elk, but daylight is quickly disappearing. For a half hour, a mature bull has been within rifle range. Will Doug try to take a shot at the bull in sight? Wait it out in hopes of a bigger bull showing up? Or go home empty-handed? Find out when Outfitters Rating TV continues.
You want to supercharge your corn, grain, or protein pellets? Try new Khmer Deer Corn Coat.
Whatever you treat, the deer will eat. And Corn Coat is so simple to mix. You just pour it in and shake it up. We have had some absolutely amazing results by using Khmer Deer Corn Coat. You gotta try it. Khmer Deer.
Outfitters Rating TV is brought to you by OutfittersRating.com. Trust, but verify. EuroOptic.com, the source for premium firearms and optics. Swacker, broadheads that open so fast you can hear the swack. Khmer Deer, the revolutionary deer attractant. And by Carl Zeiss Sport Optics. Zeiss, we make it visible.
It comes down to a few minutes of daylight. Outfitters Rating TV's Doug Hamric and his guide Dominic Selvo of Limestone Outfitters have spent a week calling, glassing, climbing, and chasing up and down the mountains of New Mexico in pursuit of bull elk. And now, perched on a hillside with a dozen elk within 200 yards, a few seconds of daylight are all that remain of the hunt.
Finally, in that last 30 minutes or so before dark, this bull come in. Well, folks, we're doing this in the dark because it was last couple minutes of the last night.
That's right.
Good job.
Yes, sir.
Man, we worked hard for this bull, Dom.
Yeah, it took every day.
Not the biggest one we saw.
No.
But we're seeing a lot of this. Broke.
Right.
Broke
right.
point, smaller. A lot of 5x5s. And they're so brittle. They're light. You can just flick them and hear how brittle they are from the drought. But excellent bull. I'm happy, boy. I'll tell you what.
Good. Good.
I was starting to worry there a little late.
Yeah, we took it to the last 5 minutes of the last day for sure.
Now, how big would this bull be typically in a better year, last year or this year?
You know, I don't know. I'd say he's probably 20, 30 inches lighter.
Yeah, at least.
Than, you know, than if he had a good year.
Yeah.
But
I am happy.
Yeah, no, it was a good hunt.
Oh, it was fun. We saw a ton of elk.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of elk in here. A lot of bulls just like this bull. I
wasn't having the luck this week getting on them, though.
No, I seem
You picked the wrong hunter, I think.
or the wrong guide.
No, not at all. You know, it was a tough week, but that's relative because we got to see a ton of elk. We got to hear a lot of bugling. We got to be out here hunting elk in New Mexico in the rut with the rifle. So we can't complain, really. We had a fabulous hunt, fabulous time with the guides. The staff was phenomenal, the cooks, amazing. It was just a really good time. Absolutely, I would recommend these guys for an elk hunt. I've hunted here 3 years now, and it's been fabulous every time. We've had better bulls in other seasons, but again, we had a ton of bulls this year. We had a lot of action. We were in the middle of them every day, and it was just a lot of fun. So whether you're coming out here for a trophy, big bull hunt, or you're coming out here to see a lot of action, this is the place you need to look in New Mexico for elk hunting. You know, Darrel's been outfitting over 40 years now, and he's got a really good reputation. As soon as he found out about the program, he jumped right on board. And it was an opportunity for him to show people that he actually does what he says he does. And I have the opportunity to hunt with Darrel a couple years in the past, and he always, outstanding services. Now you can see that in what he's doing, and you can look up and see what all those clients are saying about him. And you'll find, as we have, that he does do what he says he does. And it's a fabulous job.
Hey folks, thanks for watching us this week. Really do appreciate it. Also, make sure to visit with all of our sponsors. They really do have good products and services. Visit our site. While you're there, like us on Facebook, and make sure to sign up for our team membership. We have a lot of free giveaways going on. Until next week for another big game adventure on Outfitters Rating TV, we hope to see you in the field.